Well, good afternoon there, folks. This is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees. Welcome back to my bee yard here in southeast Louisiana. It's a beautiful, glorious day. We got some warm weather. It is the 31st of January, and I think it's about 70 degrees. So, I want to make sure everybody understands, as always, I'm not shooting a how-to video. I'm shooting a how I do video. I'm shooting a vlog, show you where we're at here in southeast Louisiana in my yard. Now then, folks, it's a very windy day. I got a little wind baffle on my microphone, so I'm hoping that's going to help you as far as the volume and the audio, but no promises. Hopefully you can hear me through the baffle. Anyway, you know me. I've told you before, I don't mess with my hives in the winter, so it's been, we're going on probably 3 months now since I've even opened the hives. And I did not reverse my brood chambers. I didn't do that. You saw us do it at Mr. Ed's, and then actually yesterday I went and helped him all morning long. He and Charlie and I went and finished up getting all his boxes rotated out in the back. And it was we did a 3-man team and ran through them really quick and got them done. I'm deciding not to do that this year with my hives. I got this itch. I want to go do it to make sure that they're configured the way I like them, but I'm not doing it because I want to slow them down just a little bit. I have a little different plan. So it's still going to be about 2 more weeks before I'm ready to start going in, doing some inspections, identifying hives that are strong, weak, what have you, and who will probably be splitting. So that's where I stand right now. But today I do have 2 nuke boxes I want to go through. These nukes went into winter yeah, one of them was somewhat strong, and then the other one was probably average. But neither one of them was really strong, but neither one of them was really weak. So they were, you know, they don't require as much food. They should be starting to brood out now, especially with this kind of weather. We got a really warm day before it gets cold again tomorrow. We're going to have another few days of cold, then we're going to have another cold front. So we've still got February to get through. So I'm not ready to start breaking open hives just yet. And again, even if I were breaking open hives this time of year, it would be simply to rotate my brood chambers. And I still may rotate a few when I start looking at hives, but it just depends. It depends what I see. If I see no activity moving into the bottom and I got a semi-strong hive in the top, I'll do it then. Because all you're doing when you're rotating boxes is if the cluster is all the way at the top, going through the last bit of their stores, well then you can go ahead and put the empty one on top, call whatever comb you may want, put some more drawn in there and let them roll. It just speeds things up a little bit. She immediately goes right on up there and they begin to build this nice big hardy brood nest. So we'll see how all that goes. But right now it's taking a look at these nukes. Why am I looking at these nukes? Well, the reason is I want to see if they're bringing in a nectar, because right now I'm starting to run into my 4 light hives here, and I did go to the pond and find a light one there. It's a double deep. I want to be sure we don't go through and starve them. Here's what happens in the south, and I've told you this before, I'll repeat it again just to be sure. And you can read this most places. This is what happens down here is we have these days like this. The bees are going out and they're starting to search. The days are getting longer. The queen is beginning to lay. And if you saw the cutout video we did, we saw a nice brood pattern in there. They're only going to get bigger from this point forward. And what happens when they begin to brood up, they require feed, and there's not that much out here. So they'll take their stores and burn through them so very fast by trying to brood up and not have enough coming in. Okay, they'll have pollen coming in, but they won't have enough nectar. And you think, well, why would they brood up so fast if they don't have the food? Would they not be able to regulate it? I don't know the answer to that question. I just know that this is the time of year we have serious starvation issues if we're not careful. In March, when you would think you wouldn't have them, but we have them. So I want to go through. I know I've got some light hives. I'm not worried about the deeps just yet because they still have some weight to them, but they will go that fast. It literally is that fast. So we don't want that to happen. Now the nukes, on the other hand, they'll really go that fast. I don't know if I could snap faster, but they'll go faster. So my curiosity is there nectar coming in? I can feel them and feel the light, but I want to see them. So we are going to break those 2 nucs open, take a quick peek, and see what we have. So now you know my rationale of what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and you're going to see how I do it. So let me go ahead and get my bee jacket on, and I got a new bee jacket. I'm going to show it to you. So what do you guys think? I got me one of these handy dandy big brim veils. Look, so yesterday I went out to the pond, as I said, and checked the hives. I hadn't been out there for about, it's at least a month. And everybody was alive and flying. And one hive was a bit light. The single wasn't. That was good. But everybody was alive. So far all the hives have live bees in them. And that's a good thing as we go into February. Let's see what they're doing in this pretty weather. Bet they're bringing in pollen. Oh yeah. Let's take a look. So we have a little bit of limited activity out here. It's not blowing and going. I don't see pollen. I saw pollen a minute ago. But they're out and about. They're not finding much nectar. There's some pollen. Maybe some wild mustard out there. There's some pollen. I don't know if dockweed brings it in. Rumex, I think it's called, is the scientific name or the botanical name. But that stuff is blooming everywhere, but I don't know what it does. I know it's a pollen source, that I do know. I did look that up, but I don't know if it's nectar. But everybody's out and about. So, with the sun in your eyes, I'm going to walk on down here to the other stand and take a look at these 2 single nucs and make sure we've got enough food and maybe if there's any nectar coming in. Don't want to starve those little things out. Alright, so here we go. Haven't been open in a few months now. And again, I don't open my hives in winter at all. I'm not, for those that are doing almond pollination and things like that, getting big honey operations, building up big brood nests, sure, they need to be in them. But as a hobby beekeeper, if they have enough food and they're alive, I don't see a lot of reason to be in them. We're going to see what we got. Ooh, the beetles didn't die off in the freezes. But they're moving slow in the cold. Look at the bees in every crack. So the goal then is just take a look and see how they're doing for food. These decoats box I made, they're not real good as far as size. I need to modify the measurements a little bit if I were to build them again. Yeah, this frame is light. It's just a little bit. Look at the beetles, guys. See? The beetles will live in the hive over winter. They'll stay warm with the bees, unfortunately. So it looks like we're going to be battling beetles again, but we'll put in oil traps from the get-go. No experimenting with these things. I'm going to go with what I know works. Let's see what this frame holds for us. It's got some honey in it. I'm looking for nectar. Some old brood. And a little bit of pollen. Alright. Ooh, that's a whole frame of pollen and some honey. They still have some stores. But the key is there any nectar? And if there's no nectar, it really doesn't matter what we got because they'll go through this so fast. Let's see if our queen is getting busy. There's a brood. So, what am I seeing here? A lot of bees. And that's a brood frame. They've pretty much cleaned everything up and I don't see any nectar in there. But it's a brood frame, it wouldn't. And there's a brood frame. Cat brood.
So yeah, I took a look at here, and this thing is full of eggs. The whole frame is full of eggs. And this is, of course, cap brood, so we're looking at a pretty good explosion going to happen soon. So they'll be out in a matter of a week or so. The other ones have got about 21 days. So you figure we're going about the third weekend of February, we should have quite a few bees. Okay. I believe our queen, there's some cap brood. I was thinking she might be on this one, but that's all capped. No drones yet. There's some honey on each frame. Not much. Boy, the beetles in this thing. There's something. All right. So just a little bit of honey left. There's some nectar. We do have nectar, but that's not a lot. Look at the beetles, guys. Is that disheartening or what? But it's what we're going to deal with. So we're going to be getting some oil traps in them when we do our inspections. I'll bring a bunch of oil traps out. So yeah, not a lot of stores. Probably another week. I'll let it get cold. The bees will not eat as much when they're just clustered up, staying warm. They will not use as much, but they're gonna need something. Alright guys, that's it. All's well, eat some food. I'll talk about that in a minute. Let's move to this next one. Alright guys, so what you think? I think we're looking good. I went through and ran across all the hives really quick. Felt them. Everybody is still very heavy. Even the ones that I had marked as, you know, being somewhat light or close, they're fine. They haven't gotten like a whole lot lighter. And those were, you know, I was being on the safe side marking them, but shoot, they're fine. We've got February 1st tomorrow, so February 1st, and we still got very, very heavy hives. One somewhat light one down at the pond. It'll go another week or two at least before they start brooding up really heavy. So, I mean, we're sitting good. So the only hive we got is that one nuke. That one nuke, I went ahead and switched the lids because the lid on the second one we did, it had a feeder jar and a hole. So I moved it over, swapped them out, and what I'll probably do is just watch the weather. I won't even bother with this emergency feed. We're past that point, I'm pretty sure. Quite sure. And I don't have to do that method. That is not the ideal method. I mean, it's called emergency feeding for a reason. Candy boards, I know they're different, and people put them on there as insurance. It's a good thing. I'm not saying anything against either way, any type of way you do it. Not saying that at all. Plus, you know, guys up north, it's a whole different region, so they have to do what they have to do for what they have to do it for. But down here, you know, I did candy bricks and all that stuff when I first started. I think like a second year, I'm mixing sugar in the kitchen and worried about them. And we all do it when we're new and we're brand new. We don't have a lot of know-how yet on them. But when you get to learn the feel of them, You really know where they're at for the most part. And the other thing is, what I can't stress to beekeepers when I meet with them in meetings and stuff, is the importance of getting everything done in the fall. So our fall preparations paid off this year. Last year I think I had one 10 frame and one nuke. I had to emergency feed around January, beginning of it or so. I can't remember when it was. Now, no, we don't. We're looking good. Okay, so what did we find out there? We found 2 healthy nukes. One's small, one's quite small, and it went into winter small, and it didn't grow, which was expected. We set them up with 2 to 1, got them fed up heavy, and they look like they remained about the same. I mean, they got a decent amount of bees. They're about the same size as they were. The other one, it was also a little bigger, and it's still a little bigger. The bigger one needs some feed, or it needs some stores. I'm gonna go back when I look at the video and edit it, because I'm not gonna give them anything just yet, because we got some really cold weather coming in tomorrow and the next day, but then we'll warm back up a little bit. I'm gonna take a look and back at the video and see whether I want to take that one frame out and replace it with a frame of honey that I have frozen, thawed out, and put it in. But if it's if it was a 10 frame, no doubt I'd probably put 2 frames of honey in there, but it's not a 10 frame, so it's a 5 frame. I don't want to take up a bunch of space with the honey necessarily, but 1 frame of honey would do them right. If I want to keep that frame in there, then all I'll do is put some 1.5 to 1 on there. I'm not going to make it too thick, but I'm not going to make it too thin. I want them to sustain themselves and begin to grow up a little bit, and we can slip them into a 10 frame in the next 3 to 4 weeks, and they'll grow up and be a production hive. But that's the plan for feeding them. The other ones don't need feed. Again, went through and checked all the other hives. Everybody's heavy. I didn't look at the 2 next door. I'm gonna go feel them, but they were very heavy last time I checked. The ones at the pond are good. Everybody's alive, looking good. Good to get back into bees just to check them. Again, we're still a little bit soon for me to start getting into bees, and I'm not rotating just yet, but hey, as we go through them, probably in another 2 weeks we'll start going through them, and we may do some rotations and kind of get some bees moving up on us and start identifying who we're going to split, because it is right here right now. So we'll be going through them, and we'll take a look and see who's going to be ready to split in March and who's not, because it's that time. Before we know it, we're going to be right in the midst of it. Alright guys, well, I had a good day and it's beautiful weather. I'm going to go pressure wash some foundations. Alright guys, look, I really appreciate everybody watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Hey, don't forget to subscribe, doesn't cost you a dime. And don't forget to share this video with your friends, your family, anybody that just enjoys watching bees. You guys have a wonderful evening. May the Lord God bless you and keep you. See y'all later.